The McGill model then uses these ideas of health promotion, this general idea of health promotion, to define itself as a nursing model. So in the McGill model, the person is the family. So remember, for Nightingale, it was the individual patient, right? In McGill, they actually say the person or the people that are receiving care is the family. And it's not just the patient who is sick who is receiving care that needs to have the attention of the nurse, but rather whoever the patient defines as their family. So that could be the mother and father, it could be a sister or a brother, a cousin. It could also be friends that are considered very close to the patient and act as family to the patient. So it doesn't have to be like blood related. It can be whoever the patient considers as their family. So basically what the idea of this model is that every time you're experiencing something bad in your life, you have training or some knowledge that you've learned from this experience. And this allows you to know how to cope with your future problems. So if you think about, for example, when your child is sick, right? So the first time your child is sick, you're probably very concerned, right? Okay, we're all nurses, so maybe you're less concerned. But think about another mother, who when their child is sick for the first time, they have a fever. How do they act? Worried, like a crazy person, really, right? So they're worried, maybe they're crying, they're upset. Do something for my child, help him, help him, help him. I don't know what to do, right? They're very concerned. They have no coping strategies, really, for the first time, because maybe it's their first time they've seen a small infant being sick, right? So how about the second or third or 20th time their child is sick? They'll not freak out, right? They know what to do. They've had the experience before. They've learned how to reduce the child's temperature through medication. They know some comfort strategies, whether that is breastfeeding or lukewarm baths or giving certain soups or whatever traditional practices they might do to help the child feel better, right? So the first time something happens, it can be very stressful and difficult for a person to cope. But as you go through life and you have your experiences, you learn how to cope with difficult situations, right? And you learn how to deal with specific challenges that maybe are not even health related in those situations. So you might learn, when your child is sick, you have to take time off work. So, or you have no time to cook meals because you're dealing with your sick child. So who will cook the meals for you? Oh, my neighbor will cook our meals for us, right? Or something like that. You come up with your own strategies that work for your family and your cohort of people or your group of people, right? Whatever they are. And my strategies might be different than your strategies, right? They don't have to be the same. They're just however you cope with a difficult situation. So this is what the McGill model is focused on. It says that as you go through experiences, you are trained, and the family is trained. We know how to deal with these difficult situations. And really, it's not for us to give people solutions as nurses. It's our goal to help them realize their potential, the patient's own potential and their own strengths, that they can get through this difficult situation. They've gotten through difficult situations before. How did you cope in the past? Okay, how can you cope now? Instead of me saying, okay, you can't cook in your house, so I think you should get your mother to come from your country and stay here and cook for you, right? That's not my job as a nurse to say that. Maybe for them, their neighbor can cook for them, or maybe their cousin, or maybe they will just order takeaway for the next month, right? It doesn't matter what the solution is. Of course, we want it to be health focused, but it has to be from the family. That's what McGill says. It has to come from the family's own strengths and abilities and what they already know and understand to be true. Otherwise, the family will not do the health intervention, and it will not go as effectively for the family.